And welcome back to another edition of the John Wayne Surge Protector Podcast, a 60/40 production. I'm Eric Halsey.
I'm Alex Midway. Today's going to be a quick loaded episode here. We're trying to run through quite a few things, so let's get right to it. Tesla, don't like where this is going. 275 last week. Today there was a high of 289, and now it's at 284. So prices went up. But apparently, that prices went up all across the board. Do you know why?
I had to have been our fearless leader, right?
It technically is. It ain't because Tesla used a different type of glue to glue pieces back on that were flying off. Trump just announced that he finally has a trade deal. We went from 100 trade deals in 100 days to finally getting one after God knows how many weeks. And it's literally the country that's always, first owned us and then had went to war, and it was like the only one over in Iraq. I was like, yeah, no, it's cool. There's clearly weapons of mass destruction. And even they took a while to get a trade deal going.
Well, if you can't depend on your closest allies, who can you?
Yeah. So the fact that we have one trade deal out of this entire mess in the market's like, oh boy, there's some semblance of normalcy. That should tell you where we are. But
that sounds like what you're saying is promises made, promises kept.
As long as he bangs out 99 more trade deals in the next, 28 days, we should be fine. But let's take a look at exactly what the master negotiator was able to negotiate. So the baseline of tariffs are still on 10% about all across the board, but the UK did get the tariffs down to 0% on the first 100,000 cars that they import into the States. And you might be like, aha, but any car beyond that, we're going to tax the F out of them, and that's where Trump got it. Well, under 100K is what they imported last year, so I don't see those numbers really going up higher. So I guess 40 chests and stuff.
It's believe it was 102,000 British-made vehicles came to the country last year. So those other 2,000 compared to the 100,000, it would almost be like focusing on how many trans athletes are actually in the NCAA.
Yeah. And making the biggest mess out of it. Just scream really loud. So, but anyway, if you want your MG midget, that's literally the car name, imported in, you better get on the front end because you only got so much time before you have to pay, 10% tariff or whatever. If you have enough money for an Aston Martin, you're not worried about those. But they also got the tariffs on UK steel down to 0%, and that's probably a good move because I'm guessing they have a little bit more quality control than Chinese steel. So that's a win on everyone. And as far as things that we're sending out, one of the things that the U.S. wanted to get was the beef imported over to UK. And the UK literally put out a presser and said, we're not lowering our standards for food. So that makes me think, like, what kind of beef are we eating here? Like, what's wrong with it?
And I got to tell you, the balls of anywhere in Great Britain, any one of those four countries that are also one country somehow, they're not known for their cuisine at all.
The dentists also very low end, and they're not very big into spices. Like, they literally ran half the world, and the biggest thing they have is salt. Like, no, man, that's where we punch out.
Do we add anything to this pot of boiled haggis? Like, no, just let those sheep entrails go, baby.
Yeah. Like, it's good the way it is. I don't want anything spicy in there.
Yeah, real purists when it comes to their disgusting food. But you know what? Good for them for calling it out.
Yeah. The fact that they had to put out a presser, like, we're not eating this American disgusting beef. Like, are we feeding our, like, cows also credit cards now? I know our fish have a bunch of microplastics, but, like, is it in the beef too?
Well, when you have guys like RFK dropping all standards and qualities, luckily, our chicken guaranteed more salmonella now.
The fact that our Health and Human Services guy has an effing brainworm in his head should tell you the state of things.
Fluoride bad, salmonella good.
Let me tell you how to live a healthy life. Like, I'm not taking advice from you, dude.
Buddy, we've been around for a while. We've known people of all different walks of life. How many times have you been like, hey, junkie, a quick question for you. I need an opinion here.
Closing out a bar at 4 a.m, be like, hey, man, let's talk financial advice real quick. You mind taking a look at my stock portfolio?
Sorry, buddy. I almost caught this dragon.
So, speaking of other people addicted to things, I'm going to skip over Ukraine today, kind of like we're going to JD Vance this thing and just move right along, because I really want to drive a point home what kind of a moron triple sec dev Pete Hegseth is. So, I'm going to pick the ball up right where I left off, and we're going to go about like what exactly he's doing. His whole thing right now, and it's the same thing out of the Doge handbook. He's just, you know what, just start cutting people. They're cutting a bunch of generals 10 to 20%. And it's not like they're slowly phasing them out. Be like, hey, man, when the guys finish this tour, like, we're going to slowly migrate out and we're not going to fill back the position. You saw, what's it called? What's the Marvel movie, Endgame? Where Thanos snaps his fingers, but instead of 50%, like, cool, 20% of your staff has now disappeared. Like, imagine that happening at your job. You're like, I don't know, I got to go down to supply and grab a few things. Like, whoa, where's the supply guy? And he's just not there. And you're like, now we're more efficient.
Well, I couldn't chime in on the losing 20% of your staff with a Thanos snap. So, hey, you know what? Maybe we should try and get one of those guys from one of our ports on either coast to chime in on that.
They're not doing much right now. So
right for the cuts.
Some of the stuff he's doing cuts, and it's your friends might tell you, little Republican friends might tell you, like, oh, he's getting rid of all the DEI hires. Like, no, man, he's getting rid of people who just disagree. He got rid of U.S. Navy Vice Admiral Chatfield, the only woman on NATO's military committee. He also got rid of another person. When J.D. Vance went to Greenland and, like, nobody hung out with him, yeah, he got rid of that general, too. Like, he's removing people, anyone who does anything that the administration doesn't like, and that's not the right way to do business, in my opinion.
It is when you want yes men. Someone just to tell you you're right.
When I'm running the military, I want everyone just agreeing with everything I say, even though I have zero background in the military. Well, sorry, he was in the National Guard. My bad. But let's move on to a couple more that he got rid of. And one that really stuck out to me is the Air Force General Timothy V. Hall, who was both the head of U.S. Cyber Command and a director at the NSA, the National Security Agency. That guy no longer has his job. And before you're like, you know what? It's probably a DEI hire. Let me tell you a little bit about old Timothy here. He was 34 years in the Air Force. The last guy who left in those positions, he literally picked him. He was like, hey, man, that's my protege. He needs to take over. And he was also in the midst of something people have described as a top-to-bottom review of the entire command. So when you're taking a look at the actual cyber command of the United States and you yank the guy mid-stroke away from there, probably not the smartest move.
No, you know what? We should have told the Emperor he loved the new clothes.
It's insane. We got rid of the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staffs, the former vice chief of staff of the Air Force, the commandant of the Coast Guard, the Army's top military lawyer, and the Air Force's top military lawyer. Some people are actually saying that the whole lawyer thing is part of a grand scheme of as far as being able to challenge some of the orders that are going to come down. That's just some of the speculation. Haven't seen anything, but honestly, if it's the most nefarious outcome, I'm going with that one.
Well, if you're going to do it, I would do it right before you're about to throw your giant $92 million parade for yourself. That is going to get protested, and people are going to die.
Well, we've seen one guy standing in front of a tank in China, so I'm guessing we're going to see one of those guys standing in D.C. Probably the same outcome. Run him over.
And he stopped that Marxist trying to put a flower in his barrel with the most beautiful gun.
Get this dirty hippie away from there. So, a lot of other Secretary of Defense actually came out, and one of them was retired General Jim Mattis. The guy known as Mad Dog, the guy with an actual track record. Everyone knows about him. The guy knows warfare. He was called the warrior monk. Like, he was a legend in the Marines. Well, until we got Trump and a bunch of my Marine buddies like, no, that guy sucks. I'll never understand that. But moving right along, they all condemned these firings as reckless. And yes, when you start just firing at random people in the military without any course, like, that's stupid.
When you have to look to a Mad Dog for a little bit of like, guys, maybe we should slow down a bit. You're the problem.
That's your voice of restraint. So the Hatchet Man, Pete, also lashes out in all kinds of different directions. He also took steps to end the Pentagon's Women, Peace, and Security program. I mean, it's got women, it's got peace and security, and he condemned it as a woke initiative, championed by the feminist and left-wing activists. And you know what? Woke and peace, that does sound like something the administration has been hating as of lately. Except there is one small plot twist. Can you guess what that is?
This had to be in the Biden crime family, right?
This was instituted by Trump in his last term. And it was also characterized as a key accomplishment by none other than Marco Rubio and Kristi Noem, two of his co-workers. So a little friendly fire at Petey Bear.
I love it. I love it. This is what happens when you let children run the place. Like, eventually they're not going to get along.
I can't wait till they all turn on each other. But at least Pete's going to have someone in his corner. Because out of the most secure hires, he brings in his wife. It's because that is not nepotism. And his wife is now there in the same role as kind of Elon had, kind of a little, not really an agent of a government, not really an employee, just running around and hanging out in sensitive briefings. She's also helping him do his makeup in that little room, telling him what kind of TikToks to do and everything else like that. Honestly, I think she's just there because this guy just gets hammered every day. She's like, I need to be around you so you don't get hammered. And I'm sure he's still getting swigs in the bathroom. But that's the whole thing. He's hired his wife.
Well, famously, alcoholics generally have long-lasting marriages that never turn ugly. So it's probably good she's in all of these meetings. Nothing could go wrong with that.
Yeah, the couple that streams together stays together is what I always say.
I hate these people. Every one of them.
So what else we got there?
Okay, in Roe versus Wade news, Uncle Elon's first abortion has now finally come to term as Newark Airport on Monday became officially unsafe for travel and should be avoided if possible after air traffic control lost all contact with planes for 60 to 90 seconds, which doesn't sound that bad, but it led to 160 flight cancellations and 375 delays. You know, exactly what you're looking for at an airport.
I mean, technically, I've been avoiding Newark as well. And every now and then, you got to see if your kids can walk by themselves. You got to turn off the communications, get rid of the trading wheels, and see if those planes can land themselves.
Well, for those who don't know, like our one listener in Australia, Newark Airport is massive. It is its own city for all intents and purposes. And with that many moving parts, we are so lucky this didn't look like the middle of Die Hard 2 with fiery crashes everywhere. It's an absolute miracle, man.
Not yet.
Yeah. This, on top of all the whole staffing fiasco from all those DEI hires. Yeah. What do you mean they weren't all black or women? has the whole system strained and breaking. According to Peter Goals, former managing director of the National Transportation Safety Board, we have a very safe system, but anytime it's stressed like this, where you have controllers who are feeling under maximum pressure, it impacts safety and people have a right to be concerned. But that was the old guy, though. What? Yeah. So let's check in on Sean Duffy, who's the new head guy in charge, who said as far as our air traffic control system, the outdated air traffic control system used by airport contributed to these delays, pledging to implement a new system, ... which should take about 3 to 4 years to get up and running. Are we great again?
If there's anything this administration's done, is it's pumped money into the government infrastructure to improve it. I clearly see this happening.
Yeah, and we've already surpassed how much Biden spent at this point, too. So we're spending more, Doge.
Number one, baby.
Turns out Elon's not just great at being a cancer with his own businesses. He's doing it to our government, too.
Yeah, sorry, we're
13 or 14 years. Yeah, so 13 or 14 years without a fatal crash, and Nepo Inc. found a way to almost do it immediately. Now, that's efficiency.
Yeah, cream rises to the top.
All right, and the last dig, we should have just enough time. In religious news, the Catholics elected a new pope today, and in the upset of the century, it will not be Donald John Trump. Instead, the Catholics went with Robert Prevost, now renamed Leo XIV, and guess what? Not a big J.D. Vance guy. Shocking. It's almost like even the Pope doesn't like this. Anyways, the new Pope responded to a J.D. interview in February on Fox, where J.D. basically said it's more Christian to prioritize your family over a stranger. New Pope tweeted back with, J.D. Vance is wrong. Jesus doesn't ask us to rank our love for others. Now the world waits to see if J.D. can turn his Twitter fingers back to trigger fingers and kill another pope, allegedly.
I mean, would you be a fan of a guy who pretty much murked your last predecessor? Like, it got you the job you're in, but it's not a very good look.
No, that was February. He tweeted this out before JD allegedly killed the old pope.
Ooh, before they knew. Well, JD Vance, the staunch Catholic that he is, asking for people to get deported from the borders. It's weird that an actually pious man would disagree with him. I don't know how it happens. Maybe those crosses they all wear are just for show.
Well, you can't burn the metal ones.
Yeah.
So checking in on the rest of MAGA to see how they're doing with this new pope. Laura Loomer, who looks like you jammed a sex doll into a microwave and hit that defrost button, chimed in calling the new pope a woke Marxist pope and just another Marxist puppet in the Vatican.
Yeah.
So, they're doing great. They're doing great. It doesn't sound unhinged. Let's see. Who's another guy we love? Charlie Kirk, who's definitely an alpha male and definitely not the reason women feel compelled to cover their drinks at bars. Chimed in a bunch of blah, blah, blah about George Floyd propaganda. I don't know. And my new favorite guy, Joey Manorino, who looks like that kid from Freaks and Geeks. But if he grew up to still stay a virgin, just recently entered my radar. See how that's done, Elon? And came out saying our new pope is a liberal piece of beep. We're effed. And, a little bit more. Pope Leo XIV is not an American. He's a Democrat. But he ended the whole tirade with, we hope and we pray, in God we trust. So, exactly like Jesus would.
Hey, running back to me, did Charlie Kirk pivot from railing on the Pope to bringing up the hits of George Floyd as well?
Evidently, the new Pope retweeted something about George Floyd. We should love each other and not break over racist or something. I don't know. Something about like how Jesus said love everybody. And then Charlie Kirk was like, no, he's not white.
Don't choke my neighbor.
Yeah, exactly.
So, all right, well, keep being religious, everybody. I'm Alex Midway.
I'm Eric Halsey.
Daddy, chill.
Later, Gators.